Jerry Stapp, Carrington Real Estate Services. Over the years, we've done some phenomenal training, and I have the privilege to now finally put them in video. Last week, James and Joseph did a phenomenal farming video, and now we just had a chance to do our open house video. Watch these videos over and over, implement them into your business plan, and see the success grow. Thank you very much for watching.
Hi, Joseph Limo coming to you with an open house training. I want to dive in because we have a lot to cover very quickly. First and foremost, understand that an open house is a proactive lead generation activity that can be very powerful for your business if you're doing them right. An open house is one of those rare opportunities where you get to have an environment already set for you where you get to talk about real estate with people that you don't know. Think about this. Can you walk into a coffee shop? Can you walk into a bar, walk up to someone, and within 2 or 3 sentences talk about how you're a real estate agent buying a home, selling their property? It wouldn't come off very good, but an open house is a circumstance where when someone's walking through that door, they already know they're going to talk to a real estate person. They already know they're going to have a real estate conversation with them. So this is a very rare opportunity you're going to want to take major advantage of. Let's start out with the tools that you're going to need for an awesome open house, all right? And I'm going to fly through these. Carrington has done an amazing job in the Fuel Center of putting together a lead generation system for your open houses. Go look at it. Spend some time going through that data. It's really going to help you to know what kind of information you're going to need. Obviously, you're going to need business cards, available properties, and pre-listed properties. You really want to get a buyer, hook, line, and sinker to work with you? Show them some pre-listed properties. Have comparables for the current home. Have a registry for your open house. Understand that if you're going to meet new people and you're going to spend the time to get everything ready to hold an open house, if you're not capturing their name, phone number, email information, you're really missing the boat. I love Open Home Pro because it's an app that makes my registry very efficient. When I close it, it emails everyone, thank you for visiting. But if you just have a pen and paper, roll with that. That's going to be awesome. Obviously, you're going to need property flyers. We're going to talk about some flyers that you're going to do special for the kind of open house that we're going to start doing moving forward. You're going to need directional signs, at least 30. 30 plus is ideal, okay? There might be situations where when you do an open house, you're going to want to pull traffic in from 2 major traffic sites. Some streets dictate that you put 2 to even 4 directional signs pointing the same direction. That's how you really separate yourself. Quick tip on that, I still use balloons. I get blue and white balloons, throw them on my directional signs. You'd be surprised on a Saturday in a busy area with a ton of open houses, I'm still the only one that uses balloons. So that's a huge advantage there. Have a calendar with you. Why? You're going to want to set appointments with buyers and sellers. Make sure you have internet access, your name badge. We will be using Facebook for the marketing we're going to talk about, Craigslist, and a CRM. Boomtown is just absolutely powerful. I don't think many people have spent enough time knowing just what an amazing resource that is for you and what a business builder it is. So you need a CRM. If you're going to hold an open house and meet new people, you need somewhere to put them. I recommend Boomtown. It's really awesome, and it makes sure that I have a follow-up mechanism for all the new people that I meet. We're going to use YouTube, definitely have a camera, and then refreshments. All right? You don't have to get crazy with your refreshments. Sometimes it's just bottled water and croissants. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Sometimes I'll do wine and cheese. Let the environment, let the property dictate, but have something for people so that way when they come in, they feel a little more at ease. All right. Let's talk about some of the real benefits of having an open house. Obviously, everyone knows that an open house is a great way to get buyers. We're really going to talk about how to get sellers in an open house, so that's another great advantage. If you do this right, you're really going to build your sphere of influence in that neighborhood and in the markets that you serve. And finally, if you do it this way, the way we're going to go over, you're really going to help yourself build a digital resume. So open house is a great way to demonstrate how awesome you are as an agent. Let's dive into right away the schedule for marketing your open house. And again, I'm flying through this stuff because I want to make sure we have enough time to cover it. But here's a great way to break up the marketing for an open house that'll do 2 things for you. Number 1, it's going to get a whole bunch of people there. And that's obviously the point of holding an open house. You know, if I can meet 10 people in 4 hours, great. But if I can meet 20 to 30 in 4 hours, that's even better. So let's talk about a marketing plan that can really boost the amount of traffic. It's really easy. Monday, we're going to start off Actually, let me take a step back. I'm going to assume our open house we're talking about for this example is going to be held on a Saturday. All right? So it's a Saturday open house. Monday, I'm going to go out and do pictures of the home and a video. Don't let the video scare you. Super easy. When it comes to the photos, I like to focus mainly on exterior and maybe 1 or 2 interior to really tease people to want to come see that home. The video is super easy. Stand in front of the house, right? So that if you have a camera facing you, right behind you is the home. The scripting, super easy. Hey, Joseph Limo with Carrington Real Estate Services. Right behind me is 123 Main Street here in the beautiful city of Corona. This home is 5 bedroom, 3 bath, 3,200 square feet with an amazing kitchen and open concept floor plan. I'm going to be holding this house open on Saturday from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Would love for you to come by. This home is perfect for a buyer type looking for a lot of bedrooms, huge square footage, and an amazing backyard. So again, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Saturday, I'm going to be here holding it open. Would love for you to come by. Have a great day. That's it. Super easy video. But Monday, your focus is pictures, video. That's it. Tuesday, you're going to put together your flyers for the open house and something that I call private preview. A private preview is really where you're going to start getting listings out of your open house. And if you look up here, I said that our open house is going to be held Saturday 1 to 4. What I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start holding a private preview open from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. as an example, before the open house. What is this for exactly? This is really your moment to go out there and gather all the neighbors, try and get them into that open house and make them feel special by holding a private preview before the general public sees the home. And this is your opportunity to locate those 2 or 3 other listings that are about to pop in that exact same neighborhood. So this is now the new schedule of how we're going to do our open houses. 2 hours set aside either right before the open house, and I've also done this. If I'm holding a Saturday open house, I might do a Friday night 5 to 7 for a private preview for the neighborhood. That's a moment where I might do wine and cheese. But this is the way in which we're going to start moving forward with our open houses. So when you do your flyers on Tuesday, you're going to want to do some flyers for the private preview as an invitation to the neighbors. All right, Wednesday is really our digital marketing day. Wednesday, if the property is in the MLS, you will want to make sure that you go in there and add the open house information. That's for syndication. All the other websites that the MLS syndicates to will pick up the open house information and be on those websites as well. You're also going to want to make sure that you get that video that you made into your YouTube channel and then into your Facebook. Business, personal page, whatever it is, that's super awesome. That'll definitely do the trick. And then if you really want to step your game up, do a Facebook advertisement with that video. Maybe you pick that zip code that the home is located in and drill down for the Facebook ad, but spend $5 or $10. This will really boost your visibility to people you have no idea who they are, because these aren't going to necessarily your friends or your network. It's going to everyone that you isolate down to. So Facebook ads are awesome. You're also going to want to make sure that if you have other social medias that you use, like Instagram, that you put them in there. But another one that people are failing to use now is Craigslist. A lot of people got away from Craigslist because you can't really do HTML anymore. No problem. You can still go in, do a real estate for sale by broker, put your open house information in there. People are still gaining traffic with Craigslist. The idea is you really want to capitalize on all of your opportunities when it comes to your digital marketing. So that's Wednesday, Digital Marketing Day. One other little trick, by the way, before we leave here. The video you put in Facebook, it's really powerful if you ask a seller on a private listing to repost your ad so all of their friends and family get to see it as well. When people like their aunts, uncles, neighbors comment on the video, go and comment back with them or even add them as friends. That's how you're building a digital network with that marketing effort. All right, Thursday. Thursday is where the rubber meets the road. Thursday is the day you're going to go out and door knock the neighborhood. Two schools of thought. James Cottrell does a really great job of explaining the benefit of going from the subject property and going 10 one side, 10 the other side, 20 across the street. 40 door knocks. Keeps it hyper local. It's a great effort and it doesn't take a lot of time. You're being very efficient with it. I've done as many as 100 door knocks in the neighborhood before an open house. And remember, the intention here is to get people to your private preview. So you're inviting them. Door knock script is super easy. Knock, knock. Hey, this is Joseph Limo, Carrington Real Estate Services. We have that home down the street on 123 Main Street listed. I just want to let you know on Saturday I'm holding an open house from 1 to 4. More importantly, I'm here to personally invite you to the private preview I'm putting together just for you neighbors. That's going to be from 11 to 1. I'm going to have some refreshments. Do you think you can come by in that time frame? They're going to say yes, they're going to say no. Either way, I'm going to say great. Make sure you tell anyone that you know or family members if they want to move in this neighborhood. Come on by during the private preview and I'll look forward to seeing you there. That's it. So you're going to hit a whole bunch of neighbors. And again, the idea here is, number one, you're demonstrating to a neighborhood how you market. So if you were to sit down and do a listing presentation, you don't have to go over theoreticals. They're going to go back and go, no, you're actually here because I've seen what you do. Number two, this is how you go and identify those listings that are about to come on the market nobody knows about yet. So again, this is where the rubber meets the road in your marketing effort on Thursday. You're going to go out and door knock with the flyers you created on Tuesday. All right. Diving in, let's go to the date of the open house. All right. So we have it here from 1 to 4 o'clock with your private preview from 11 to 1. You're going to want to show up about an hour early to the property. All right, 10 a.m. First thing you're going to want to do is prep the house. Make sure it's ready for people to see it. Turn on the lights. Make sure that everything is ready to go. If there's any clutter, get it put away. If you have refreshments, get them set up. As soon as the house is ready to go, then you're going to go out and set up your directional signs. 30 plus. It's going to take a little bit of time. If you are going to go with balloons, go get your balloons ready to go. And then you can put up your signs with balloons. Again, directional signs are powerful because they're going to help people see where to go on your open house. I always do in the high traffic streets 2 to 4 directional signs at each corner pointing to the same direction. Instead of one sorry little sign that's kind of falling over, I want 4 of them that look awesome, sharp, and with a balloon on top. You really want to drive traffic to your open house instead of someone else's, that's how you do it, with a lot of directional signs. Once you start the private preview, I want to talk about managing that process. So a private preview is really awesome for a standard listing, and especially is great if you can have the seller there with you. Couple of tips. If they can, have them greet with you at the door as neighbors and friends come over, because they're going to be the one to pitch you in front of their friends and neighbors and introduce you as their agent. That speaks volumes. That in and of itself is awesome. There's so much added credibility. You don't have to say a word, just stand there, shake hands, and introduce yourself, because the neighbor's going to do all that for you. Or I'm sorry, the seller. Once you have a good enough amount of people inside the private preview, that's when you're going to want to step in there and start talking to people. The private preview, again, is a bunch of neighbors probably just hanging out, checking out the property. I'm not going to go in there like I normally would with an open house. I'm just going to go in there and start to talk to everybody. All right? I'm going to listen to what they have to say. And one of the biggest things is I'm going to start looking for some selling signs. Selling signs come out a lot of different ways. Some people are really vocal about it. They'll tell you, hey, I have the same floor plan. I've gutted this wall. I've done this to my kitchen. And oh my gosh, you should see how we've designed our living room. As soon as someone says you should see, my response is always going to be, I'd love to. When can I come by? All right, if I'm wrapping up an open house at 4, I'll ask them, hey, is 4 o'clock going to work? I'd love to come over and check that out. That's a very possible selling sign. And even if it's not, you're building some great rapport with someone in that same neighborhood. So that's when you're going to want to look out for some of those signs. The other sign could be very different, where someone comes in and is a little more quiet about it, might ask you about pricing, and if you think it's even likely someone can get close to that price by selling their home. They may not come out and say, because I'm thinking about it, but that could be a very obvious selling sign. And if someone is really, really cautious or wants to pull you outside to talk about it, you never know, that still could be a possible short sale in the neighborhood. So just be aware of the selling signs, all right? Slow down during this time. Talk to people, listen, just engage in conversation. These are neighbors. These are the people that can really help you to build your business and grow your network in that neighborhood. All right, that's how you're going to manage the private preview. Let's dive into the open house. I know agents who do a lot of this stuff even. All right, they're going to do a whole bunch of the marketing. They're going to put out a bunch of directional signs. And when they get people there, even if they're really good at getting traffic, all they're going to do is when someone walks in, they're going to go, hey, thanks for coming by. Here's a flyer. Let me know if you have questions. And that's it. I'm here to help you understand that that is not the most effective use of your time. And that's really not the way to gain a real following in your business for how you are as a real estate professional. So let's talk about a much better way to manage the traffic, because you've done all the work to get them there. How do we do our best with them? Here's what I'm going to recommend. This is the process that I use to manage the traffic when people come to my open house. Number one, I'm going to welcome them, right? I'm going to try and build some rapport with some quick small talk. So let's say Jerry walks in and it's a day like today. It happens to be super hot and muggy outside. So Jerry's going to walk in, and I'm going to say, hey, come on in. I have the AC on and some refreshments. I know it's super hot outside. Come on back and I'll grab you a water. And he'll probably say, oh, thanks, whatever. I'll hand him a water. And at that point, I'm going to say, by the way, I'm Joseph, and you are, he's going to say, Jerry. Good to meet you, Jerry. Okay, so that's the welcome and rapport. It's not super hard. If someone comes in with a Range Rover, and that's the car you have or want to have, as an example, that would be a really authentic connection point between you two. Now, as a man, I'm not super interested in high heels. So if a woman walked in with really cool high heels, it wouldn't be really authentic for me to try and stretch to talk about how cool her high heels are, because I don't know, that's just not something that I personally am into. So you don't want to create small talk that is unauthentic. You want to keep it real. But again, even if it's just a super hot day, invite someone in, tell them to cool off, and offer them a water. Just small talk so they can build some rapport with you. The second thing that I'm going to do is a transition statement. And I'm going to tell you right now, if there's nothing else that you get from this open house training, get this. If you do nothing else of what we talk about today, zero, except for this, you're going to have a huge, drastically much better results from your open house just by doing this. And here's the transition statement. So Jerry walked in, got him some water, introduced myself, and the transition statement is this. So Jerry, you're out looking for a home for yourself. How's it going so far? That's it. It's just a very simple statement. So Jerry, you're out looking for a home for yourself. How's it going so far? Let's break down this statement so you can see the power behind it. And number one, I'm not asking Jerry if he's looking for a home for himself. I see people make that mistake all the time. All right, so I'm not saying, hey Jerry, so are you looking for a home for yourself? That is not what I'm doing here. I'm doing an assumption close. I'm basically assuming that he's looking for a home for himself, and very seamlessly, I'm going into a question that's very easy for him to answer because it's conversational. So Jerry, you're out looking for a home for yourself. How's it going so far? Automatically, most people will start answering that because they don't feel like it's a selling question. They don't feel like it's a threatening question. It's just conversation. But they don't know how smoothly I'm going into information that I want to know and need. And more importantly, this gets me into the real estate conversation. There are so many agents who do all of this stuff, hold open houses, and never talk real estate. This is how to get there in a very seamless fashion. From here, Jerry's going to say what he says. Some people will say, well, hey, you know what, I just started. I don't know much. I just know that I've been thinking about buying a house for a while, saw your open house sign, and here I am. Great, now I know what to do with that person. The next step, by the way, is going to be what I call discovery. This is where I start asking some questions and having a great dialogue with somebody. All right, so if someone said that, I know some great questions to ask. Well, do you own the home that you're currently in? Right? Have you gone through the pre-qualification process? There's a lot of great questions I know to ask here versus someone else who walks in and says, you know what, I just bought the house down the street and I'm a neighbor and wanted to come by. Different set of questions, if any. I know how to prioritize. Or another neighbor comes in and goes, well, I'm actually not looking for a home for myself. We're thinking about maybe, upgrading to a bigger home, downsizing to a smaller one. Different set of questions. So this transition statement is powerful because it gets the other person talking, and then you smoothly transition into discovery by having a conversation, but just asking some really key questions based on what they said here. All right, once I have a feeling for what they want and what they're looking for, the next thing I'm going to do is demonstrate the home. Okay, this does not mean I'm going to follow them around the house the whole time. I'm not going to open a bedroom door and go, this is a bedroom. That's not demonstration. Demonstration would be something like this. During the discovery process, hey, so what's not working for you in the home that you currently live in? Well, our kitchen's way off to one corner and the living room's over here. It's just all chopped up. I'm really looking for something a little more open. Great. Let me walk you over here. I think you're going to love this gourmet kitchen. So if you come in here, you're going to see that this kitchen has awesome cabinets with the European style hinges that are hidden, with granite countertops and under cabinetry lighting. You can really see that this elegant kitchen pours right into the family room. So is this about what you were looking for when you said an open concept? I'm really pegging back to what they want, and I'm going to demonstrate that portion of the home. All right, so that's demonstration. And again, this really sets you apart, because if it's a seller, if it's someone who's thinking about selling at some point, or even just someone looking for a good agent to work with, how many agents know how to do that or do it in general? So this is where you start to separate yourself. Step 5, I call it freedom. Once I demonstrate to somebody, that's when I'm going to say, well, tell you what, this home has a ton of great features. Wait till you check out the master bedroom upstairs. I'm going to let you guys enjoy yourselves now, so go ahead and take a look around the home. I'm here if you have any questions, and I'll come meet up with you in a couple of minutes. And I'm going to let them go. I'll let them go do their thing. I'm not going to follow them around, and there's a lot of reasons for this. Number 1, if you did a great job here, you have 4 other people walking in the door. You don't have time to just piggyback off one person. All right, so this is a great way to manage traffic. When you get to a discovery or the transition statement and someone says, I just bought a house, I was just walking by and curious. Great, I don't spend time with that person. If another person walks in and goes, I have the same floor plan thinking about selling. Great, I know I'm going to spend time with that person. Someone walks in and says, I just got pre-qual, don't have an agent looking for a house. This one look awesome. Great, I know to spend time with that person. Point is, when there's freedom, it gives you options, and you know how to manage an entire home full of people because you're willing to let them go. More importantly, step 6, I call the second meeting. And by having a second introduction to the same party, to the same individual, psychologically that's going to build in a lot more trust, a lot more rapport, because they're going to feel like they're meeting you for the second time. I realize it's only minutes later, but psychologically it works because now they don't feel like this is the very first time that they've met you. And that yields a ton of opportunity for you if you know how to leverage it. So that's another reason why I let them go. All right, so when I come back for the second meeting, a lot of times this is when I would bring a flyer. I don't just hand them out willy-nilly. I just go, I don't need to hand out a flyer to add value. If I go demonstrate and show them the rest of the home, people are, really picking up on the value that I can add. Then when I walk upstairs to catch them again, I'll go, hey, I brought you guys a flyer. How's it going? How do you like this master? Did you check this part out? Just start engaging them again. As I mentioned, they're going to feel like they've met you for the second time subconsciously. This is also where I look for opportunities to really start nailing down their information. What did we talk about? One of the things that we want to do is capture everyone's name, phone number, certainly email address, maybe even address, right? We want to collect their data. So one of the things that's ultimate goal is we want to get them registered, right? And the way that I do it is really just looking for opportunities throughout all of this. Second meeting is a really great place because what I can do here is see what other questions they might have. See if they don't like the home. Well, great. I'll tell you what. There's a lot of other great properties downstairs I can show you. Or I can even shoot them off to you on email. What's your email address? Did you get registered? There's so many opportunities here if you learn how to manage your traffic to get them registered so that your registrations don't look like Mickey Mouse at Disney.com as an email address, or 123-456-789-10 phone numbers, right? You want to get information that's real, that's valid, and you want to have people who actually want to hear back from you. So this is the way now in which if you hold your open house and manage the traffic that way, you're really not only going to set yourself apart, you're going to start getting a lot more interested people willing to work with you. And isn't that exactly the goal of holding the open house to begin with? All right, so let's dive into a couple of tips so I can wrap up this training for you guys. I know this was coming at you fast and heavy. There's a lot of great stuff in here, so don't miss it. But I also don't want to bore you with a 4-hour training program, because I could. First of all, make sure you follow up with all of your leads, all right? The reason why we have the CRM in the tools is because you want to make sure that they're in there so that you can manage appointments just to call them back, to send them an email, put them on a drip campaign, be in front of these people. If you have a specific email address, look for them on Facebook. You might even be able to find them and add them as a friend, all right? So these are some of the tips to really step up your open house afterwards as well. I've also seen some agents get a lot of success holding an open house 3 consecutive days during the week. I know this example is really tailored around the weekend. That's not to say you can't get some really great traffic on an open house during the week. So be open to that. And 2 and 3 days in a row can be a really, really great opportunity for you, because if someone comes home on a Thursday, it doesn't work, and then Friday they see it, and then Saturday, they're really going to be intrigued to go and finally see that home. So the last tip I have for you as far as what open houses to hold, people are getting tremendous response when they hold an open house on a pre-listed property. You have a huge advantage of being with Carrington Real Estate. Take full advantage of that. Pre-listed homes, sure, you're not going to have a price, but you're going to have a whole lot of conversation about why there's no price on this house. So really consider that and see if that can be a great opportunity for you. A couple of last tips on the open house. Number 1, enjoy it. Play with the transition statement. You might mess it up 100 times. No big deal. Be yourself, all right? Really commit to being an open house expert. Some of these things are a little bit different and they may not feel easy at first, but you got to go out there and really develop the skill. Finally, I know I went super fast, so if you missed a whole bunch of it, email me or Jerry Stapp. We have an entire kit and guide here for you, not only with all the items that we talked about, but even some of the scripting that I used for the video and the door knocks. So I hope you enjoyed your open house training. Go out there and get them, guys. Awesome proactive lead gen. Thanks so much.